Starfield, the worst Bethesda game ever made, which says volumes considering they also made Fallout 76 and Redfall. But Redfall wasn't made by Bethesda. Yes, it was. Educate yourself, read a book, loser. And now, Starfield is about to have its huge comeback with the greatest update ever seen before.
Is in Steam beta, and this thing is absolutely huge. In fact, it is literally Starfield's biggest update to date. Even though Bethesda Game Studios didn't describe it as such, it is actually true if you compare it to its
Even Bethesda is ashamed to try and describe anything they do on their games as an update or a big update. That's nice.
Previous biggest update. That was around 120 fixes or so. This is over
from which half of whom did not actually fix anything, and which most likely introduced new bugs, because the Bethesda is severely incompetent.
400 fixes. There are so many quest fixes and graphics fixes, UI fixes, etc. in this update. It's pretty mind-boggling. And there are some new gameplay features and quality of life improvements to talk about. Not that many, mind you.
Of course not that many. Do you think Bethesda is gonna give you quality of life features? Are you kidding me? Bethesda made Starfield, they have no idea what the word quality of life even means. Dude, it's been half a year now, still no city maps. Beautiful. FOB slider, 2 months. Eat button, pay DLC, baby. It is what it is. There's never gonna be anything that no sane person is ever even gonna call a worthwhile update for Starfield at this point. 200 developers are still working at this. And what do you get? An asteroid fix 4 times in a row that doesn't actually fix the asteroid bug problem. It is what it is.
When it comes to the latter, but still some that we can chat about. So in today's video, I'll tell you everything that you need to know about the status update. However, I do want to begin this video with a bit of a chat about Starfield. I think it's necessary at the moment when it comes to the state of the game, community sentiment, player-based numbers, and just generally what the future
It's all bad, okay, we know this.
Of this game could hold, especially in light of updates like this.
Oh boy.
I'm well aware as to how negative discourse around Starfield is at the moment. Unfortunately, that is the reality. If you were to look at Steam reviews, they seemingly continue to drop day by day. I think it's at it's at mix at the moment, and 6 out of 10 on average, right, as a whole. And then you look at a lot of the articles being released about the game recently. A fair few of them are about player-based numbers dropping by like 97%.
I by the way love this, the fact that this is their promotion material. One location that you will probably never find.
A fair few of them are about player-based.
A mech that you can't pilot. that isn't even in the game properly as a usable thing. This is great.
Numbers dropping by like 97% since launch. There is a lot of negativity. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that negativity is by any means unfounded. In fact, I firmly believe a lot of the criticisms that have been levied towards the game are very much valid, right? It's valid, legitimate criticism based on people playing the game and thinking, I don't like it for X, Y, and Z reason.
Pretty much anything negative you can say about Starfield is probably valid criticism, to be fair at this point. There is nothing good to be said about this game in general. It's bad on all fronts.
So I'm not discounting that criticism whatsoever. The reality is, it's been negative, and sometimes it's a bit of a bummer, especially for people that do like the game, that are looking forward to content, to see a lot of that stuff day by day.
The people who like this game are arguably so stupid they are living on government assistance because they qualified, okay? They are on the wrong side of the special spectrum.
By day. So what I want to do is use this update as a way to say, I don't think things are so doom and gloom. In fact, if you look at what BGS has been doing with these updates, it's clear they're on a mission here. They are on a mission to make this game as stable as possible when it comes to performance and bugs. So when they are releasing actual...
How about making the game stable before releasing? How about that? How about fixing the bugs before the game releases? How about that? And also, by the way, Bethesda's track record of maybe fixing 50 bugs in half a year and adding zero quality of life things that people begged on day one, that people begged before the game launched because they knew that Bethesda is going to be so stupid they're not going to have it. How about inserting all of that before the game launches?
New content, whether it's Shattered Space or other DLC or indeed mod support, when they're releasing that stuff, the game is in a good position, because if people are coming back to the game to experience that kind of content and they're experiencing the exact same bugs that they encountered at launch, absolute disaster. That would be a horrible look for the game. That stuff needs to be stamped out, and I've said this in multiple videos in the past, especially when it comes to quest blockers.
Stamped out, by the way, implies that it's being done fast and effective. But Bethesda is anything but fast and effective.
So given that situation, when you look at this latest update with over 400 bug fixes and a lot of quest blocker fixes and all that kind of stuff, in my eyes, it is absolutely a good thing. It is setting a nice foundation for future content to come to this game. But with that being said,
how has the Copian train gotten this far, by the way? How the hell are we at the level of game gets released, almost a year later of nothing being done? Oh yeah, they're fixing the bugs so the future of the game is good. How has the copium train moved this far? How is this possible?
I am now going to say, after this really big update with a lot of bug fixes, it is now time for new content. I think Bethesda Game Studios, don't get me wrong, don't stop releasing bug fixes. That should always be a part of every patch, right? But now focus on new content when it comes to your big patches.
What does new content even mean, honestly, for Bethesda at this point? Considering Bethesda legitimately labeled like 50 bug fixes as a major content update is crazy. Baldur's Gate 3 literally release you know what's called a major patch for them? Releasing fixing between 1,000 and 3,000 bugs. Some of which people don't even know are bugs, and they're minor inconveniences. That's what's considered a major update for some. But for Bethesda, fixing 50 bugs and half of those bug fixes, I'm not even joking, don't actually do anything or work. It's insanity. Like, what kind of major things are even considered content in Bethesda? They're probably gonna open the champagne when they finally introduce, city maps to the game, because, obviously not having maps in a game like this is good. And the next expansion, dude, it's made by the same idiots that made this game. It's gonna be written by the same loser idiot who went on a Twitter tirade and started yelling at everyone how stupid they are to not understand how gloriously written and complex Starfield is. Complex and what now? Is this a role-playing game even? Not even half. I wanted to say half of the actions because that's pretty much how people defaultly talk about things. But no, in this case, 99% of the actions you take literally don't matter. Characters are one-dimensional. There is not a single companion that you can take that is not the carbon copy of the previous character's personality. Here at Starfield, we're a bunch of ragtag people with their own goals in life, but we came together to do this thing. And that's a lie, because every single one on Starfield is like, doing bad things bad, doing good things good. Oh, the writing is just so absolutely painful. Pirate Quest, where you're supposed to join the Crimson Fleet, where some dude is trying to betray the main guy and tries to rope you in. He tells you, hey, let's kill the main guy. You say no. What does he do? Does he shoot you? No. No. Can you shoot him? No, obviously not. No, that would be bad. Can you tell on him that he's a bad guy? No, that's not also an option. Does he ask you 4 more times? Do you actually want to join him maybe now and betray the other guy? Yes. Can you even kill him at the end of the conversation? No. When you're a part of the Crimson Fleet, that guy fails and is exiled by the head honcho, which doesn't make any sense because he should have just been killed. What happens when he threatens you in broad daylight before all of your new pirate buddies? Well, he just walks away. And if you shoot him, then all of the pirates go against you because mech reasons. Okay? That writing is going to be also in the DLC. Okay? That writing is also going to be in the next expansion. It's going to be great. I believe it's going to be great. It's going to be so great, in fact.
That, I think, is necessary right now, because even hardcore fans of Starfield are kind of twiddling their thumbs and thinking, where is the new content for the game? Where is Shattered Space? Where is the other DLC? Where is official mod support? We want to see that stuff coming to the game, and I think now is absolutely the time.
Paid mod support. Not official mod support. Paid mod support.
If we saw another 1, 2, 3, 4 really big updates that just had bug fixes, don't get me wrong, it's nice for people still playing the game, but many people have stopped playing the game, right? Even though I don't like those articles that are like, this single-player game has dropped by this many players since launch, because all single-player games go through that, right? There is still a valid...
No, they don't. No, they don't go this fast. And no, do they not go this fast, especially for Bethesda games. Starfield loses in player count currently to Skyrim. I think even Fallout 4 at this point in time.
Argument in there that many people have stopped playing because they have no new content to experience. That is just the reality. So, new content, I believe, is now needed, even though I'm...
How dare these stupid imbeciles say that there's no new content to experience? There's 1,000 planets! There's 1,000 planets to explore! How dare they say it's not interesting? Are you not entertained going into the same exact cave every single time that you enter a cave? Are you not entertained? How can this be? Are you not entertained by going to a planet, landing in a place, and going to a different planet, and oh wow, you're landing in the same exact place as previously? Wow, that's interesting. Are you not? How? There's 1,000 planets like this. There's 1,000 planets to experience 1,000 of the exact same thing that you have already experienced, and you're not happy? Sad.
Giving Bethesda many kudos for these bug fixes. I think now they do need to change their approach up a little bit. But let's talk about this latest update, right? As I mentioned, there are a lot of fixes. It is entitled Starfield Update 1.10.30. It was released on the 6th of March, which is actually my birthday, so happy birthday to me. So this is what they had to say in their Bethesda.net article about the patch notes. That is linked in the description below. Say cheese. Our latest update brings new ways to show off your modeling skills in space with the addition of new poses and expressions for you and your companions. We excitedly await more showing off of your photography. We also understand that DigiPic...
Bro, this is literally made for the same for the same people that should have been terminated at childbirth because it was clear that they have some kind of defect. Dude, this is literally interesting for the same people who put a sandwich down vertically, and then it fell. And they were like, oh my god, this game has physics! Look at the physics! This game has physics! No, seriously, that was the thing about Starfield. This game has physics actually trended. Unironically, because Starfield players thought that this is a big deal, that there are physics in Starfield. Now, I understand that may seem surprising, considering the game looks 20 to 30 years old at this point, even though it's brand new. But, you know, still, Morrowind had physics.
Are precious, so we've made an adjustment that allows you to undo without the penalty cost of a digipic during the security minigame. Thank God for that. Why are digipics so rare in Starfield, and why were we losing them so quickly? Anyways, not without fixes, we also have a multitude of fixes to quests, graphics, gameplay, and more. Take a look at the full list below for all the details, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to go through as much as we can. As I said, there are over 400 fixes, so I can't talk about everything. Otherwise, we'll be here for 5 hours. But we're going to talk about all the features added to the game.
Okay.
And I'll summarize a lot of the big fixes that have been implemented, right?
Okay.
So starting off with those features. First of all, photo mode. They added the ability to set expressions and poses on player and companions in photo mode. So for those of you that do use photo mode a lot, you are going to be able to use expressions and poses. That is nice.
Okay, raise your arm if you had no idea photo mode even exists. I'll raise too. Who gives a shit?
Though I will say, would have been nice to see it at launch. You have it in Fallout 76. Would have been nice to see it in Starfield. But it's come to the game finally. And then we have Scanner. You can now open doors and harvest with the scanner open. Setting course on an inactive quest will now make it the active quest. Nice sort of quality of life improvement there. They added support for
Now, the funny part is no one uses the scanner because everyone who tries to scan things is an idiot.
adjusting FOV when using third-person ship view. Thank God for that. That's my preferred view. They added an anisotropic filtering quality slider for PC. Another one of those things which probably should have been in the game earlier. And they did this with FSR3 and DLSS and all that, but...
Well, to be fair, everything they do with Starfield for the next 10 years should have probably been in the game at day one.
It's come to the game. That's good. They, again, removed the digipick cost for using undo during the security minigame. Really nice improvement there. They added an autosave when fast traveling from a planet's surface to orbit. And finally, they updated the ship UI to perform more smoothly at higher frame rates. And that, of course, was necessary because...
How is that necessary? Dude, none of this sounds even remotely close to exciting. All of this sounds kind of doom and gloom.
With the DLSS, with FSR3, with frame generation, a lot of people were playing the game at higher frame rates, and that probably made those issues much more abundant. So, those features are nice. Now, a lot of people are saying they're not setting the world on fire. There are much bigger quality of life improvements, much bigger features that Bethesda could add to the game. And I actually do agree. I do agree that there were bigger fish to fry here and stuff that they've mentioned publicly, right? Like they mentioned city maps. They mentioned new ways of traveling. Whatever that means, sounds cool. They mentioned all these other cool...
Bro, if you think that a city map is going to come sooner than on the year anniversary, you're crazy, okay? It took them 3 months to implement a, FOV slider. A thing that everyone asked for before the game started because everyone knew that that Bethesda never does this. They make a game, they add no FOV slider, then everyone begs for an FOV slider, and then 3 months later the game gets an FOV slider, okay? Like, of course they're not gonna add this so fast.
Cool gameplay features and quality of life improvements that we still haven't seen being added to the game yet, right? I want to see more stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, photo mode is great for people that love photo mode, but I don't really use photo mode. So I would like to see this other stuff. I would like to see, again, save file thumbnails. I've been mentioning save file thumbnails for so long. I don't know why. If it was a thing in Fallout 3, it was a thing in Fallout 4, why is it not a thing in Starfield? That needs to be part of the game ASAP, so I know what these save files are doing, right? I would like to see a dialogue tracker like we saw in Fallout 76. That was a nice improvement to the game. Again, city maps it's so needed. Why doesn't this game have city maps yet? I would like to see a transmog system as well. And again, the new ways of transportation. Just tell us what these new ways of transportation are, and then you can let us know when they come into the game. They're leaving us on red when it comes to that one. But yes, these features are nice. I just think there are bigger fish to fry, as I mentioned. So hopefully we do see city maps, all right? City maps next update. Please, Bethesda, if you do that.
Not happening, dude. Relax, okay? Bethesda's not updating the game. You bought it. You're a sucker. It is what it is.
I will be a happy man, all right? And maybe save file thumbnails as well. But moving on, let's talk about a lot of the fixes that have been added to this game. A lot of fixes, man. I can't list all of them. I'm going to list some of the main ones and summarize the rest of them.
Okay.
But they're across many different categories, like art and gameplay and graphics and outposts and quests and save and load and ships and text and localization and UI. Lots of fixes, right? If you want to see the full list, as mentioned, they are in the description below. And I encourage you to read them because especially if you have very specific quest blocker issues in your game, you need to see whether yours has been addressed. A lot of them have been addressed, but not all of them, okay? So keep that in mind. But let's start off with...
By the way, this is not even footage from Starfield. This is the footage that we got before the game launched.
The art fixes to the game. So first of all, they fixed an area that allowed the player access to the New Atlantis ship technician's vendor chest. Now, this was technically an exploit, not really an art fix.
Dude, I remember this. So they fixed another one. Okay. This is a staple that shitty companies do nowadays. I have come to conclusion that this is the exact staple, You know what shitty companies do? When their game is shit and everyone's complaining that it's bad and sad, they don't fix it. Bad developers completely incompetent developers, they nerf things that people like for some reason. We saw this with Diablo 4. Oh, there's no monsters in the world? And people found, and that's the complaint? Yeah, people want to slay monsters and there's no monsters in the world. Yeah, and people found one place that actually has a decent monster density, nerf it, okay? Updates to make the game better take literal weeks, if not months. But when players find something that they like, the developers literally fix that shit in days, if not hours. The moment that people found in Diablo 4, when it came out, a good spot to actually gain experience and level fast, the devs nerfed it in a matter of hours. I think it was a day or something, and it got instantaneously nerfed to the ground. And the same thing is in Starfield. People are asking for some kind of very basic thing to make the game more fun. No, it never gets addressed. It gets ignored. People find a chest exploit that is going to be roughly used by 5 people because it's funny. They fix that in days. They fix that in hours. What the hell is the deal with bad developers and just being able to instantly nerf and fix things that people like into oblivion and sadness? But when it comes to actually doing things that people want them to do, it never happens. How does this constantly happen?
Here, Bethesda, I'm on to you. As is the next one, fix the gap that allows players to access spacesuits without picking locks of one of the spacesuit display cases. Again, that was the exploit that allowed you to get the spacesuit early without needing to max out your skill. I'm on to you, Bethesda. I see what you're doing here, trying to mask exploit fixes as regular fixes. So moving on, fixed an issue that could cause the fish worker mask to not be visible when equipped, fixed a spot where the player could get out of the world on the Siren of the Stars, fixed a rare issue that could cause a player to remain stuck under an elevator, and for the rest of the art fixes, it's a very similar story.
Oh boy.
They fixed flickering textures, object placement, places where players could get stuck or go out of the map, disappearing or missing assets, intersecting objects, physics and collision bugs, places where you can see out of the world, floating objects, improved LOD for flora, and just generally minor art fixes related to quests and different assets. So it's a nice set of fixes for art in the game, but you know what? If something's an exploit, don't pass it off as a regular fix, right? Just say it's an exploit. We can all read between the lines here. Now, when it comes to gameplay fixes, right? Again, another nice set of gameplay fixes. I'll talk about the main ones and summarize the rest. First of all, they fixed an issue with ship power allocations decreasing unintentionally due to crew member bonuses. Crew bonuses for ship weapon recharge times should now be applied as intended while in targeting mode. They fixed an issue that could turn the player's head to the left when sprinting in third person. I never encountered that. Address an issue that could cause artifacts to become inaccessible if the player left the location for a long time without retrieving them. I wonder if those artifacts are going to respawn if someone could no longer pick them up. I really do hope so. Let me know in the comments below if you can confirm that. They fixed...
Who cares? Space dragon shouts are stupid and boring.
It's an issue that could cause the player housing decoration to be lost when there is a state change in New Atlantis. Resolved in...
Oh my god, this bug just got fixed now? Are you kidding me? They fixed this one already! They already claimed that they fixed this. Half of this stuff is things that they claimed that they fixed previously. What are we... Oh my lord. This New Atlantis thing? Yeah, people complained about this, I think, on day 2 or 3 of the game being released. And it was already fixed once. And so it wasn't? Again? It wasn't... Jesus.
An issue where Sarah could appear non-interactable if she was assigned to a ship or outpost during a conversation with Walter in the lodge. Resolved an issue where the player could be affected by weather while inside. Nice to see them fix that. And again, it's a similar story with the rest of the gameplay fixes, right? They fixed...
Wait, who cares about the weather?
Minor issues with planets, damage bugs for certain enemies, better difficulty balance for certain interactions, lots of bug fixes when it comes to using certain powers and skills. They address damage scaling issues in New Game Plus, general player character collision issues, combat fixes, bug fixes for certain weapon mods, skills and types, soft locks, crashes, looting fixes, character placement and pathing, enemy spawns, cause the sun's length.
Okay, graphics fixes.
lens flare to disappear when partially occluded by an object. Fixed another issue causing the sun's lens flare to have the wrong size when modifying the FOV. Fixed an issue that could occasionally display the bloody sun's lens flares everywhere. They fixed an issue that could occasionally display the sun's lens flare through opaque objects around the edge of the screen. Fixed a rare...
Is this it? Because none of this sounds interesting or matters.
I believe Starfield still has a ways to go to improve this feature to compete with the likes of, you know...
I don't know what feature he's talking about, but Starfield will never improve any of their features to compete with anyone.
Camp building in Fallout 76, or let alone...
Dude, look at Valve. Valve doesn't do anything. They don't innovate. They don't care almost about anything. They're literally not even... They literally don't do anything almost. And they're successful. Why? Because their opposition constantly shoots themselves in the dick. So, I don't know if Starfield's gonna make it, boys. I hope it does. I love shitting on Starfield. It's the best thing ever.
Alone settlement building in Fallout 4, I still believe that was a little bit more fleshed out. But it has a ways to go. If you compare it to 76, it's an absolute night and day difference. Now, to be clear, obviously, 76 had so many more years to add to that feature and continually improve.
Fallout 76 is arguably still not even playable, by the way.
It.
It's a complete waste of money. Don't buy it.
But Starfield can learn a lot of lessons from 76 in that department. So hopefully they do continue to add to it and iterate. But now let's talk about arguably the most important category for this update.
Okay.
Quest fixes. There are so many bloody quest fixes in this update. It's actually insane. A lot of quest blockers that have been addressed. Now, to be clear, not all of them have been fixed, all right? I believe locate the ECS constant.
Yeah, he's actually going through all of the things. Well, anyway, that was the Lone Vault Wanderer. Wow. Starfield is just... I hope Bethesda just perishes. I hope Bethesda fails so hard that Microsoft just decides to completely remove them and just take their IPs and put them on other things. Not other things, but allow other companies to do just, you know, this stuff. Because, dude, I'm not excited for anything new that Bethesda does, okay? A lot of people are still commenting about not being excited for Elder Scrolls 6 because of, you know, Starfield, Redfall, and Starfield, Redfall, and 76, all of those things. Because Bethesda's track record has been horrible. It is... They're worse than Ubisoft, they're worse than Blizzard, they're worse than everything. Blizzard at least has Season of Discovery. That's really good. I'm enjoying myself there. But, you know, the balance there is atrocious, Blizzard. But, you know, Bethesda just has nothing going for them. They're complete trash. Hey, it is what it is. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sid, and thanks for watching. Subscribe. Haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.